Welcome to Counterpoise. This is Malik Foster.
I'm Everett Stevenson, and we
We
have
are
a
with.
co-host here coming in with us momentarily that should be joining us. We want to thank you guys for coming in, checking us out here at Counterpoise. Once again, my name is Everett Stevenson, and I'm joined with my good co-host Malik Foster. And
How's everybody doing? Hey Sam, welcome to the party.
what's up,
Hey,
Sam?
hey,
Man,
hey, 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 hey,
Introduce
hey. How
yourself to
y'all
the
doing? How
audience.
y'all doing? How y'all doing
good,
today?
good. Always happy to be in everybody's presence. You know what I'm saying? Always a good time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what we got up for today, guys?
One
Uh,
of the things that we was gonna look into doing, I know we talked about this earlier as well, was to see about we wanted to see about black businesses. I know a lot of things that we were looking at this year dealt with a lot of people looking into wanting to buy back, wanting to buy black, as well as supporting black business ownership. And so we felt that it would be a good topic to discuss within our community about black business relationships between consumers as well as the business owners, and
Hmm.
how that should go. So I know we had a couple clips and some media things that we wanted to review and just kind of open up, excuse me, and just kind of open up that discussion.
yes, E.
Okay,
I wanted to share
go
on my
ahead,
screen
Mom.
here with everybody a little clip that goes over a little bit about the customer service aspect of business. So I'm going to share that in my screen momentarily. Give me 1 second here as I pull that up. So, can everybody see my screen here?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hmm.
So, do y'all guys want me to read that to
So,
y'all? Or y'all
let
want
me
to
do it.
discuss
Let
it?
me do it. So,
Okay, go
I'm not
ahead,
even
Sam.
gonna read the whole thing. Just pretty much just go through it real quick. So, pretty much, girl wants to get her hair done. She's asking if the lady can do her hair at 9 o'clock at night. Hairdresser's like, no, my last time slot is around 4 o'clock. Go ahead on my website and, book it there. And old girl gets tight. She gets mad. She's like, now see, it's the bitches not being about their money for me. And it's like, why take it that far? So pretty much she gets upset and she's like, I'll take my money somewhere else. And homegirl is like, thanks for reaching out, and she's like, don't get smart. Here's my take on it. So when somebody offers a service, when people take cut, the customer is always right way too far. You know what I'm saying? Like these people put in their blood, sweat, tears, energy, time, all that stuff to create a business and a service for the community. You know what I'm saying? And people feel like they're obligated to do everything that they want them to do, and it don't work like that. Like you wouldn't go into Macy's and bargain a price, right? Because that's the price, that's what it is. You wouldn't go to a different establishment, that you might be used to going to, and try to force them to give you an appointment that you know that they ain't gonna be open for. So why do we have to treat black owned businesses like that? And I think on the one hand we run into the problem with how the customers treat these black business owners, but also too we run into issues sometimes with how the black business owners treat the consumers. So, you know, I mean, it's tough, but I do think we got to be better to each other. You know, and that's just my take
Ab-
on it. What do you guys?
Absolutely. I know I'm speaking from the standpoint of also being a black business owner. Personally, I have a home health care service that we run in Michigan, and also willing to and also having a moving business that me and Malik worked on while we were in law school. Um, I've dealt with having to deal with customers directly, and a lot of times, especially customers, within our community or people of color as well, and just in general in that regards. I think like this isn't anything in particular with dealing with, race, but I think when the topic in which we're bringing it in is just dealing with it from the aspect of Black race, and from being a Black business owner and dealing with people. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, within my own community, there has been questions in which there's been times in which I felt like, the service or the way that people might speak to you and or respect the business that you have is kind of like disrespected almost, in a sense, like to what this lady is talking about. I personally felt like she came in, she said, you know what, ma'am, my business hours are this time, you know what I'm saying, and I go from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now what if she would have hit him with that little red, like my business hours are from 9 to 5? You know what I'm saying? The lady would have got offended, da 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 da. But it was just simply, her saying to them, like, listen, this is the time that I normally do stuff, and can you please respect my business and meet in my time? And then the lady just go ahead and get mad. But it's like you asking for something that someone didn't even offer. You know what I mean? And it's like, how you gonna come to me with something that I ain't even offer you? I can see if this was something that was on the table, or you was gonna ask me, you know what I'm saying, would you be willing to? But you came in demanding. And you don't know what this business owner has going on. You don't know what they might be doing. So I think that's something that people might need to be mindful of as we interact with each other, especially within our community, to be able to be respectful to each other.
Yes, my thoughts are twofold. One, first, from the service provider, since as an attorney, I'm in a service-based business, as well as when I did the moving company with Everett, I was in a service-based business as well. So as a service provider, a person offering services, my point of view is this: like, I think the business owner handled the situation pretty well, but they could have provided them with the link and actually explained the times as well. I know that they said their latest time is 4 p.m., but they could have said, hey, you can book tomorrow. Here's my calendar. Here's a link to it. Or here's times I'm available tomorrow for my calendar. Maybe that would have garnered a better response from the customer. However, on the customer's point of view, they definitely could have worked better with the business owner on this. This is at like 1 a.m. in the morning. They're talking to them about, hey, do you have time at 9 o'clock at night? So that's not really nice. And they're texting, so this isn't really like the most formal situation here. It's not email correspondence. So they may actually have past history. So I don't know if they have past history based off this message, but I think the business owner should have left it at the first message, maybe added their calendar and some times and kept it at that, and not try to even say thank you for reaching out. Just left it at there. If they're going to be angry and upset, just leave them on like red and keep it moving. Because they think their response was like, hey, they're just trying to be smart. So that's the only thing I would have added. And those are my thoughts on the subject about this message.
I mean,
And so
yeah,
I was gonna say real.
I was gonna say I agree. I worked in customer service for 8 years, and customer service as a whole just needs to be better everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But first, you email somebody, you send a text. I mean, some businesses function off a text message. However you function in your business, cool. But like when it comes to this, you message somebody at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's already kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're not having any. It just shows the lack of respect for the business owner's time. You know what I'm saying? You're messaging them at 1 in the morning, and then you get pissed off when she's not accommodating. And she doesn't have to be. An accommodation is just that. It's not a requirement. And I think that people have to go into stuff. They need to do something about these entitlement issues. I don't know where they come from in customer service, but people feel entitled. And I mean, are you entitled to be treated with respect? Absolutely. But you also have to give that respect as well. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times, it's missed because people are just so focused on themselves and what they want. And, how they expect it's almost as if they treat these business owners as if they owe them something, and or like they work for them, and they don't have to take their business, but and shout out to the business owner. I really think that she handled it well, because I've definitely seen it where some of these business owners meet the customers with that same energy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think especially when you're talking about Black businesses, one of the biggest issues that people have, is customer service. You know what I mean? How Black owned businesses treat you. And also too, Black business owners often run into the problem with Black patrons always wanting some sort of discount, hookup, accommodation. Like, how come you just can't come in there and pay what you pay? Like, if I was going to, I don't know,
oh yeah, no, but see, what I was gonna say with that too is you right about that. Like, there is a lot of times where customers, as a whole, you know what I'm saying. I feel like our customers are out here being disrespectful and looking to discredit, the ownership of the business, right? So it's like, oh, he's Black owned, so we feel as though, we don't have to do X, Y, and Z, or we feel as though I shouldn't have to pay full price because I'm doing whatever I got going on. And like that needs to stop as a whole. Like, I think that people need to respect people for their prices, pay people what they ask. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a small business. I think one of the things we've seen as really well with this whole COVID situation is that, like, small businesses are really vulnerable in the day-to-day most of the times. It's not like they necessarily have the cash reserves to continue to be successful through hard economic times like we have seen in this time. So, anytime we try to discredit, or not necessarily discredit, but devalue rather the services that they provide, it definitely hurts. And what I wanted to ask Malik was a question to see about like in your experiences, because I know you have a couple of businesses and you've done a few things as a business owner. Like, have you ran into an experience where you felt like a customer made either try to devalue your services, and if so, how did you know what I'm saying, handle that situation?
Yes, all the time. Even in legal services, customers are always trying to devalue your services, such as in my area expertise, which is business law, where I help clients draft up contracts. I handle all their corporate transactional matters. So, for example, if a client finds a template online, I have to explain to them exactly why they need me instead of using prepaid legal forms that are already drafted up. For example, there's certain contractual terms and drafting language that's not always already there. All the forms aren't one size fit all, which means the forms don't tailor to your specific needs, and they need legal customization, which the client doesn't have the expertise in or the time to do the actual extensive research to actually get the contracts looking right and appropriate and to be in their favor and to represent their interests. So that's one of the things that clients tend to not understand. And they were like, well, why is it so expensive? Because I'm taking my time out to draft and tailor these documents to fit your needs. That's why I'm more expensive than prepaid legal services. It's not just a form. You just enter your name and the information and you're done. That's not what goes into the process. It's a lot of work, formatting, drafting, thinking up the strategies that are in your best interest. So that's just a situation in the legal field that I encounter where people are like, well, you just do this, I can do that. I mean, like, yeah, sure, you can run the risk doing it yourself, but if you mess up, it's going to be your pocket, not mine. And then if you get sued, it's on you, not me. So you rather have a professional actually do the work, or someone who has the expertise and knowledge to do the work so you can mess up. So you just have to communicate to your client and to your customer, like, look, this is how it's done. This is why you need me. And that's how I handle the situation.
And to piggyback off of that, though, too, to piggyback off of that too, a lot of people have to understand who went to school for it, right? Like, They didn't. Aside, never mind our student loans and all that other stuff. You want to be protected. They want to be protected on the front end rather than have to pay in thousands and thousands when they have to go through litigation because they got sued because they weren't protected in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you paying for that prevention and protection as well. You know, and that's just from a legal standpoint. You know, even just from a regular business standpoint, sometimes you know, because my brother is an entrepreneur. He's had several businesses. He's had several businesses throughout the years. And one of the things that he runs into constantly is interacting with people and the problems that it brings. Whether it comes from a lack of understanding as to what actually goes on behind the scenes, because it's hard to explain all that stuff to some people. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't necessarily they don't necessarily understand it, or B, they just refuse to hear you when you're trying to explain it to them. You know what I'm saying? And so you're trying to help them the best way that you can, and it gets tough because people don't want to hear it or they just don't get it, and so they make it create more of a challenge or more issues that need to be created. And I think that as a culture and as a people, because we are trying to better our visibility in the marketplace as Black people, and having these Black-owned businesses, we have to, I'm not saying cut anybody slack, but we do have to be better to one another because, like I said before, I've said it a couple times, like you're not going to go to, okay, take it like this. If I go to Johnny Cochran for representation, God bless the dead, you know what I'm saying? If I go to Johnny Cochran, he's a Black lawyer, but he's super world renowned. Everybody knows him, and he charges a whole lot of money. You're not gonna complain because it's Johnny Cochran. But if you come to me and I'm offering the exact same representation, and let's say I'm on an equal playing field with him, and I have equal footing. The only difference is you don't know my name. The price is what the price is. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people have an issue with that, where they want you to, go above and beyond what it is that you want. Like, for example, I had a client, he wasn't hearing me. He wasn't hearing what I had to say. He was in his own head. And I kept explaining the same thing to him over and over again. I literally had to have a meeting with him to sit him down and really tell him, like, look, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, being in these service oriented type businesses. You know what I'm saying? We're here for these people. And in order to understand what that means, like, people should listen. Like, listening and having an understanding of what your role is in these relationships will really, really be helpful. You know what I mean? I really believe that it'll be extremely helpful.
Absolutely. And just and wrapping up with that, just speaking on my experience as well, one of the things that I think also that I think that as a whole that we need to do for our community is when we're dealing with businesses, either as a consumer or a prospective consumer, you know what I'm saying, I think it's not our right to try to come in and try to adjust what they have. Like, I think we need to respect it with the same quality that we do, as everyone just said, with the same quality that you would do someone else's brand, and look at it honestly. And I'm honest opinion, I feel like try to look at it as a superior brand than others, and especially if they provide a great service. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, because of the fact that you understand how hard and how valuable and how vulnerable those businesses are. And it's one of the reasons why I try to support as many as I can as far as any business that I know. So I know we're about to get ready to go ahead and transition into another video real quick, and here we go. We're gonna share the screen here momentarily, and this is another video just dealing with business relationships, client relationships. Here we go. Just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can everybody hear that?
Yeah. No.
All right.
No, the music's not playing, or we can't hear the video.
Oh, you can't hear the video?
Mhm.
All right.
No, we can't.
All right, don't worry. I got it. I know what to do.
My cousin.
So yeah, this video that
This black women at their best. Why I got me a black woman. You just went off on that man. You went off on him, babe?
I went off on him. And I don't mean no harm, but I don't feel bad about it.
You feel bad about it?
I'll do it again.
You don't like nobody.
And I didn't fuss at him either.
You don't like nobody mistreating you, do you, babe?
I don't.
That's why.
That will get under my skin quicker than anything.
What you telling me to my
So, okay, let me give y'all the story.
Tell the story.
A quick version of the story. So basically, we hired a contractor,
Electrician,
excuse me, to hang some lights in our, like to change out like a light fixture. And it was two of them. One he couldn't do. And he left the exposed wire hanging out. Who does that? If you can't do it, just put it back how you found it, idiot. So then you go to the other room and he leaves the plastic on the light. So I said, sir, what light have you installed that you leave the plastic? And then you don't even put the bottom of it. Well, I didn't see it. Well, did you look in the box? So I said, I don't want you doing nothing else for me. And I hope next time that somebody hires you to do something with your expensive career and master electrician degree, that you treat their home better than you treat mine. Click.
And let me tell you what I did. Put the camera on
What
me.
you do, babe?
The whole time you were going off, I was in another room like this. I was all uncomfortable, man. I was like, she getting this. But you know what? It comes back to this. This is where we as black people have to understand. We hired him because he was a brother, right? And we told him.
Tell him what you told him, babe.
We told him. He was like, well, you need to go back to such and such because they did the wrong job. I said, no. I said, we want to pay you. I said, I'd rather pay you as a brother more than them to fix it. Now, this is the problem. Black folk got to start, when we talk about buy black, that's great. And we need to do that because that's group economics. That's community. That's a part of what we stand. But we black folks have to start caring for each other better. And the only way to do that, we have to have respect for ourselves. See, you can't expect somebody to come in your house and do a good job for your house and their life is in shambles. And they have no organization. And they walking around here pitiful. This is why, and we start off being comical, but at the end of the day, this is why we have to be better when we're raising our children, teaching our children to respect themselves. You're not going to respect nobody else and nothing if you don't have pride within yourself.
Can I tell you? Go ahead, babe.
Pride in how you dress, pride in your hair, being clean, looking professional, walking with your head up. Little things that we lose out on. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna buy, but we gotta treat black folks. We gotta treat each other right. But the only way to do that, we gotta be respect. We have to respect ourselves. Put the camera on.
Can I tell you one more thing?
Come on, go on.
Because I haven't got all hot and riled up. So let me tell you why. So when I first met this gentleman, I said, "Hello, sir. How are you? I'm good, love." Don't call me love. That ain't my name. It ain't no part of my name. My name is not like Lynn or Lynn Love. It's Mrs. Williams. Okay? First of all. Second of all, as soon as you talk to him, the next time he tells me, "Hi, ma'am, how you doing?" So, see, black people, you get too comfortable too soon.
But let's make the point, babe.
Make the point, babe.
We had to reel it in. He changed up on you.
He did.
But that lying had to come in. That lying. But you know, I was just like, yo, bro, I want to support you. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say don't do. But he changed.
He did.
Because I had to come up here and set that tone, son. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You had to realize. You know what I'm saying? I represent you.
And you
represent me.
Yes.
You represent each other.
Yeah.
And he had to bring it all the way down. He's the main one. Write me a good review. No, we ain't gonna write no bad review. Because we don't believe it. We'll put up here and say, don't use him. No, we're not gonna do that. We're just not gonna do business with you. You ain't coming to our house no more. You know what I'm saying? Son,
that's what we did.
But baby, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, baby.
You that lioness. You know what I'm saying? Do that blind ass. You know what I'm saying?
I could have choked that man.
You the sidekick to the hot boy, son. You know what I'm saying? We make a run, son. You know, we robbing a bank. You sit up here outside in a getaway car, son, waiting for me to come out and what?
It's so
Oh man, that was hilarious. I love to see
that was
it.
funny.
Love to see it. They seem like a super dope couple. But
Yeah.
the topic once again is a topic that we have to address, and I'll start off real quick momentarily with like some of the things that he talked about was like one, the service that we provide, right? Like I don't know about y'all, but I know one of the things that I was always taught when we were coming up was like, you need to be, twice as good, you know what I'm saying, to get half as far, in this world, you know what I mean? And I know, Sam, you might can speak from a female's perspective. They might have probably told you 3 or 4 times as good, but I think that with all of that being said, the thing is like you at least need to do the job. Like we just said, not only just doing the job, you need to do more than just the job, right? You need to do the job really well and at a high level so that people can, one, respect you and your business, and then two, you hold yourself up to a level. And I think that kind of went back to what he spoke a little later on in the video about self-respect, right? Because if I care about how I do it, like, if I care about what I'm doing and I care about myself, it's going to extend to everything that I care, everything that I do, right? And that's how someone said, like, how you do anything. I think it was Inky Johnson said, how you do anything is how you do everything. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend of mine that I was in law school with, can't think of his name, but Mario, and he would say, like, you practice how you fight, right? So everything that you do, if you're not professional on design, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that even in your personal relationships, you got to have a professional demeanor, but I believe that within every instance of who you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? If you're a master, you like electricianist or whatever, if in all of the instances in which you have handled business, had a contracts, or dealt with a company, where you as lax as you were with that gentleman's wife. And I don't think that's the case. And so I think that, we also as business owners, we need to be able to respect all patrons the same equally and treat them just like you would a contract with Google or Apple. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it was a 1-bedroom home, but you do the same thing with that same type of energy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that shows, one, a level of professionalism, a level of self-respect, and it also shows that you care about like what you're doing. You take pride in yourself, your work, and who you are, and that shows in the work that you do.
Yeah. I concur, I agree. Yeah, like here in the legal profession, I was taught that, you have to be a professional in everything that you do. You're always an attorney, even outside of your workplace. So you definitely want to maintain that professionalism demeanor everywhere you go in every aspect to the best of your ability. And here, the contractor, he did not display that, especially even in the greeting. So that was an error on his part, and hopefully he can learn from that and grow from that and further his business. But this video brought out something even deeper, I think, and that's our Black business community. Like, we're not really taught how to act in the Black business world, in the business world, period. Professionalism, business. We treat those businesses as little side hustles or business instead of business. So you need to be professional and you have to act right and appropriate in all aspects. You just can't be like, hey, love, or hey, do the job halfway done. You need to do it thoroughly and complete, and even go beyond that, because customer service is number one and very important, especially in a service-based business, which this contractor is in. He's not just selling a product, so the product.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what happened to Malik. He looks like he has some type of technical difficulty, so hopefully that'll fix itself. You back, Malik?
I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah,
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 you good.
back.
You good. We see you,
I don't,
kid.
I don't know what happened. I don't know. They're
You
tripping.
went ghost on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep one.
You want to finish that last thing you just said because it cut off in the middle.
Oh man, yeah. So I was saying that you want to be professional in all aspects in all areas of your life, especially that contractor, even with your services. You want to make sure you complete the job, do everything to the best of your ability, and even go beyond that in some cases, because you want to make the customer happy so they can provide you referrals, so you can get even more business, especially more black business, because we need to circulate those dollars. We need to build up our black business community. So it's important that every black business owner does a good job, provide good customer service, provide good quality products, so everybody doesn't have to complain and say, hey, I have to go 40, 50 miles just to find a black business. No, our local business community that we're trying to build has the things you need, and we have adequate business owners who will provide good quality service. So that's one of the issues in our community, that we don't have a business community and business acumen, and it's not enough of us. It's starting to develop now here now, but there's some other issues that still we need to tackle in order to have a more adequate service. Oh, I think somebody's joining here.
Yeah, that looks like a friend. I'm welcome one of our callers in here. We have momentarily. Would you like to state your name for everyone?
Am I unmuted?
Hello? Yes,
Hello, can you hear me? Hi.
Hi, how are
I am
you?
late. My name is Latoya. And
How you doing,
I'm here to
Latoya?
give them a message. I'm doing good. I'm having a good day. How are you?
I'm excellent.
We're doing good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay,
Happy
so
holidays. We want to thank you for being one of
happy
our first guests.
holidays.
Happy
Appreciate
holidays.
that. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Just as a little background,
What
real
are your
fast.
plans?
And I
Do
know
you have
Toya, you
plans
can
for
tell.
Christmas?
Me personally, no. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here in Miami personally. I'm not doing too
Okay.
much. Maybe try to see if I got some work to be doing and read a book. Maybe go to the zoo, something like that. You know how I get down. I don't know about you guys. Anybody else got any little plans?
Well,
or anything?
my mom is here. My mom is here. She's here till the middle of January. So, we do what we do around here. We cook. We're probably gonna have like a seafood smorgasbord on Christmas.
Mm.
And we did that last year.
So nice.
Oh, that sounds good.
It was magnificent.
I think I know where I might need to go.
Right, I heard that. Is that an invite?
Right. I made this crab meat, not even crab meat, it was like a seafood gravy that went on the mashed potato. Man, I was in there burning it down in the kitchen last Christmas. So I fully intend to do it again this year because everything was tasty. So, I mean, I'm more excited about the food than I am anything else for Christmas. So,
I heard
what about you?
it.
What about you, Malik?
My plans, yeah, I'm gonna go back home to Florida for a little bit, spend some time with my family, and that's it. Pretty simple.
Nice.
Yeah, what about you?
I was gonna say, Toya, I don't know if you had told us our plans real quick, but when you get done, I was gonna bring you up to date to where we were at in the show, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, we can go from there.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. I was hoping you would do that too. So I was just going to say for Christmas, I'm not quite sure. I am going to stay here in Florida. One of my besties is coming down from Michigan with her family. So she invited me over for a barbecue. Another friend of mine is having a little Christmas party at their crib. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Santa comes to town, but I've been a good girl. So I think so.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So briefly, we just played this clip. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. but it was a clip with a married couple, and they were talking about they were just talking about their experience with a black electricianist
Yeah.
electrician, pardon, that they had hired, and they went in the detail as to some of that, as to some of their experience when dealing with this professional and what that was like. And I wanted to go back to something within that video that we were just talking about
Okay.
here, and we were talking about how, like, I forgot, Malik, you were just wrapping up, but like we were like the comfortableness of the excuse me, the electrician is right. And to me, like I was saying, I kind of brought up to them earlier, like I think that goes towards that level of professionalism, and how, like, again, like, you calling her love, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you were just casual or whatnot, but you're not necessarily treating your business like, this isn't, like you said, it's not a business, it's a business, right? So this isn't supposed to be,
Right.
you trying to mac down on someone, or you sitting there trying to, slickly try to, what I'm saying, maneuver your way into some business. This is somebody coming to you to talk to you about something
Right.
for your company. And I think you, as people, as a business owner, I think that man should know, like, yo, that's a bad look for your business, because now your business doesn't look like, you know what I'm saying, it looks like you the type of person to use your business to get a type of advantage, or like to try to take advantage of something, or to see what kind of angle you might can go, or I could do something for you type of
Right.
thing, or like, well, what you want to do for it type, you know what I'm saying? Almost.
Right.
Nah, he all he said was love. It didn't go that far, but I think it kind of leads way to that, like, you know what I'm saying, of being
Right.
unprofessional and showing that it could easily go left. And I don't know if it was because, again, he thought it was just he thought that maybe this was just a single female or something like that, or a woman by herself, and that was the case. But I definitely felt like that was real disrespectful. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm a person to say that. You know what I mean? Use that term, but I think it would definitely not be a term that I would use, within the professional aspect. I think it's more one that I think I would be using as a consumer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being served by someone. And thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, love. I appreciate that. Or, you know what I'm saying? No, thank you, dear. I'm good. Or whatever it is. So yeah, I think he needs to kind of learn to not differentiate, those type of situations. And also, one last thing that I wanted to talk on this video was um which really threw me off, was the fact that two things. One, he tried to push the liability off. I don't know if y'all heard that. Like, when the husband was like, look, there was some da-da-da, where he went to go tell him, like, when the husband was like, we want you to do X, Y, Z, the man was like, well, hey, the old dude had did this, you need to go talk to them. Okay, I understand that might not have been, the work that you've done, but like the man said, I'm willing to pay you to fix what they did, right? Or what they messed up on, right? So you're fumbling your
Keyword,
bag.
pay you.
Exactly. I'm willing to pay you to fix someone else's mistakes and how you making mistakes. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, dang, man, like, that messed the whole bag up, because it's like, here's someone that's willing to go over and above for you, and you're not even willing to do for yourself. And I think that's one thing that I think black business owners need to know too. No one's gonna love your brand more than you. No one's gonna want to work harder than you. And you got some people that might be in your corner that's willing to go further for you than, you know what I'm saying, others would be willing to do. But if you're not willing to show them that you're serious about your craft, if you're not willing to show them that you're serious about how you do your approach, then you can miss out on numerous opportunities, right? Not just with that family, because like you said, I don't want you working on my stuff no more. And I don't know if they got into that video, but like another part of it that he said was like, when a man asked him to write a review. Write a review? You ain't even do the job that you was hired to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I told you I was gonna pay you more, but you asked me to write a review. Respectfully, they didn't. Respectfully, because, mind you, what if they told on that man how he really was, right? That could possibly hinder his business in the future. That could possibly hinder him from getting other business or other business in the future. So I feel like we need to, like, you know what I'm saying, go into looking into these type of things and say to ourselves, like, is my attitude or is the way that I'm my approach to my business holding me back? You know, and maybe he felt like it's not. Maybe he feel like he's good enough. I was doing a favor type of mentality or whatever. I don't know what his mindset was, but it clearly wasn't focused on giving them the best service possible based off of, you know, their experiences from what I'm hearing. And I think that's something we need to look into because, again, this was somebody who was willing to allow them to pay them extra to do something that they didn't even necessarily do, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, you said something. Yeah, go right ahead.
I was going to say, so for him to suggest that, also suggests that he paid no attention to the feedback that they were giving them, because if he was, he would recognize that that wouldn't be the right response or write a review, because the review would be negative. So he's not hearing even enough about the feedback that he is receiving. He just wants to look good and put on for whatever type of social media he can put on for instead of actually doing the job. And then he's going to hinder himself worse because no one's going to want to come to someone that only cares about likes and comments.
Right. You have to like the business that you do. Like, you know, you are your own brand, right? You are your brand. You represent your brand every single day when you walk out the house, however you are on social media, whenever you interact with other people. And I think sometimes people forget that because people are so used to being in a casual space that when they see other Black people, it's like this Black Alliance type thing, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with Black Alliance. Black Alliance is necessary in order for us to grow the culture. However, there has to be a line drawn in the sand in particular instances. Like, for example, when you're talking about a business relationship, right? I can want you to do the work as a Black person because I'm trying to boost Black business. That's not necessarily simply because it's your business, but it's to help uplift the community as a whole in one way or another, because every small moving piece helps the community, right? We're all trying to be there for one another. It's just like, I remember when President Obama got elected the first time, right? I remember going into the work and going into my job at the time, and it felt like the energy in the atmosphere had shifted, right? Because, oh my God, now we have a Black president. And it was like, regardless if you agreed with Obama or liked him or didn't like him, it was, hey, we have a Black president now. And now it almost feels like at the time, in that moment, it felt like the tables had turned. And it was like Black people in the office were giving each other a different type of a look. Like, it was almost like an I see you look, or like the low key fist in the air, but not really trying to put it out too high because you don't want that may not have voted for him, who may hate his guts, and those people may have power over your position. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to have that camaraderie with amongst Black people, but there does have to be a line drawn in the sand. You know, you do have to uphold a certain level of professionalism in business. If it's one thing if that person is your friend and they call you love or hey, you know what I'm saying, but they're not your friend, and they hired this man specifically to do a job. You know, and you have to function with appropriate behavior. One thing that you had mentioned earlier, you was talking about when you were brought up to, you were always told that you got to work twice as hard. As a Black woman, I was told 3 times as hard. And my thing is, you got to take pride in your work. Anytime I was also taught, do not put your name on anything that's trash. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's affiliated with you. And do you really want to be associated with trash? So you want to make sure your work is the best work that you put out there. Is it always going to be perfect? No, because you're human and you're going to make mistakes. But at the same time, you want to do what you got to do to put out the best product that you can possibly, you know, put out there. And one other thing is that when he tried to say the other guy can come back and do the work, if he was unable to do it, just say you're not able to do it. People are going to be able to appreciate the fact that you can't do something over you yesing them to death and then going to do it and failing or messing it up. Like how she said he left the wires exposed because he couldn't do it. When he knew he couldn't do it, just say, hey, I'm not able to do that. Not because you just call old buddy to have him come do it. It's I'm not capable of fixing that. So it would be in your best interest to have the person who knows how to do it to come fix it. Like, just say that. I'm more inclined to come back to somebody who is upfront and honest with me at the outset, rather than watching them fumble around for a little while, messing stuff up, not getting it right, leave the plastic on, doing all that's gonna make me upset. But if you're like, I'm not qualified to do it, you know what? I respect you being honest with me. When I come across something that you are qualified for, I'm gonna remember you because you were honest. You see what I'm saying? And that starts to build your reputation. You know what I mean? Because you're upfront and you're honest with people. And I think that a lot of times
I gotta push back a little bit on that though.
Go ahead.
In the sense of, because I think sometimes a little bit, because I totally agree in the sense of, like, a person that's being honest with you, you're going to be more willing to, you know what I'm saying, trust that type of person because you feel like they're being honest. But I also believe when you're a business owner, sometimes you jump in deep waters. And a lot of times you don't know how that might come. So sometimes you do stuff that you don't know how it might work out, but you like, you know what, I got to take this chance. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I agree. Don't take no chances on my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I understand also that, like, that mindset might be that, like, hey, you know what? Dang, she got this certain type of fixture. Maybe maybe I might tell you, like you said, it could be a permutation of both. Listen, I'm not familiar with this fixture. I definitely can go ahead and give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, we could work on, pricing, But I'll try. I'll give it a shot. If I don't find the things, or if not, here's what it could be. If you want me to do that or take a look at it, if not, I would rather just go ahead and let you go to someone else. And I think that's a way where maybe that business owner can give himself the chance and the opportunity to learn something, or to maybe try something that you might not have, because you ain't gonna always know how to do everything. You're going to have to learn some things on the go. But also be able to do exactly what you said. Be respectful towards, you know what I'm saying, that family, and respect their time and money.
But you're also respecting your own business too, because the last thing you want to do, because like you just said it, if you say, I'm not sure how to do it, I can try. You see what I'm saying? Or, let me give it a shot. People are going to appreciate the fact that you at least, you think you might know how to do it. You might need to call somebody to help you out, stuff like that. But I mean, some people might not like that at all. And I get it. You know what I mean? But I think I would think that a majority of people would respect the fact that somebody's like, all right, I'm not super familiar with it, but let me go and give it a shot. All right, I couldn't get it done. Let me refer you to somebody that can help you out. You see what I'm saying? Because people are gonna be more inclined to respect and accept that. We'll remember them going forward, as opposed to just, oh, now, like, he didn't know what he was doing. He just left the wires all exposed. He tried to refer it out to old buddy. He's doing this, that, and the third. They're less likely to, because it's not going to be as enjoyable of an experience. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
That's
I was going to say one last little thing with that too. Another thing he could have did as well is maybe brought on someone who does know how, right? Like, so I might charge the client X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you, you know what I'm saying, A and B, and then we all can win. Especially, and I think that's one of the things that we talked about. Group economics, group mindset. Like, the mindset is, okay, what I can't do, I can find somebody else who could, and then we could work together so everybody can eat. And I don't think that family would have had a problem with that. I don't think that man should have had any issue with that as well. I think that was just a bad example of business ownership. So we didn't see any examples of bad customers. We've seen examples of bad business owners. So I know we have another clip that we were about to get ready to go into, which recently went viral here. A lot of people have been talking about this in the last couple of weeks or so. And so we're going to have to get ready to cue that up one time and let you guys see that, and we'll come back and talk about it here momentarily.
Everybody see on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, let me fire it up.
I invested a lot lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept, so Black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as they, because one, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. So all this twerking and shit, take it to crime, take it to pink, don't take it to because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves if you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, you fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Anybody want to take a shot at this one first?
I'll go. Oh, go ahead, Malik.
Oh, well, yeah. You haven't heard from me in a while. But this was interesting. You know, I just think from the business owner side of things, I understand where he was coming from. You know, he worked hard to invest in starting up a business because running a business is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be running successful businesses, but it's very difficult. So you don't want customers behaving in a certain way in your restaurant. So he's right about that. It was good that he spoke up and said that. He could have chosen his words better with the vulgarity, but I mean, the message he was trying to convey, I completely agree. They don't need to be doing that. I understand there's music being played, but you know, you got to think of like the counterpart here. If they were in a white business, a Chinese business, a Korean business, a Jewish business, they wouldn't be doing that. Because if they did, they would be thrown out by security. Maybe some law enforcement would be involved, or they would be thrown out, right? So they need to conduct themselves as customers. They need to conduct themselves appropriately as if they were in any of these other types of businesses where they know the rules and they know the consequences of their actions. So I think when it comes to Black people, when they go into a Black business, they think they could take advantage of a Black business because they think, you know, Black businesses have a bad reputation of being like, you know, not in business, but in business, as I say. And, you know, they think they can do whatever they want to do and behave however they want to behave. And that's not the truth. If you want the highest customer service, you need to act as an appropriate customer and not do things you would do in other restaurants and other businesses, such as this guy's restaurant, because he clearly has a passion for it and he worked hard to obtain that restaurant and he did it for his community. So he just wants to be treated just like how the other businesses are treated that those customers go into. So I agree with him, but I also think he could have said things a little differently. Those are my thoughts.
I have a little pushback for you, Malik.
Pushback?
I think that, yeah, I do. I have a little bit of pushback. So, you know, I think that what's going on in that video goes deeper than what we actually see. You know, twerking is a whole cultural thing. It's not even necessarily just twerking nowadays. Like that the twerking dance comes from different variations of dances that have come from Africa. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, when you have your own business, you create a culture. You know, you create a culture, and you definitely, you know, want your business atmosphere to be a particular way, which is where I agree with you. Where I disagree a little bit is the fact that, you know, although people do need to conduct themselves accordingly, it needs to be made clear outside. Because if normally you go into different establishments, and this is what the culture is, you go to a restaurant and they're playing all this hip hop music and all that, and brunch, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, that's what you see. You eventually see twerking, dancing, carrying on. Excuse me, that it happens. And so, you know, I think the issue that I took with what he had to say was pretty much saying like making it about the woman's behavior as opposed to making it about the business culture. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to have a respectable business. Well, they're dancing. It doesn't mean that it's not respectable. It just means this is not the business that you have. You have a restaurant. You know what I mean? And I think that there's a difference in what he's trying to create and what is trying to create, what the consumer is trying to create in his establishment. So although I agree that he's free to have his own culture and his own business and what he expects in the atmosphere of his establishment, but at the same time, I think that he has to recognize that, you know, he doesn't have to accept it, but he should probably recognize that, you know, this cultural aspect of it doesn't necessarily have to be viewed as degrading. That's all perception. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that it makes it not respectable. I mean, would I be in a restaurant in the middle of the afternoon twerking? No, but to each his own. You know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't want that in his establishment, as far as the atmosphere is concerned, he definitely should make it clear. But again, like you said, the way he chose his word choice, it wasn't the best. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
that,
no, most definitely.
I think that, you know, there has to be some sort of a counterpoint, some sort of balance as to, you know, as to, or a meeting of the minds as to understanding, although this might be cultural, it's not what I want. If I'm a black person and I own a restaurant, let's say I don't have soul food. What if I have Chinese food? You're not, like you said, you're not gonna have a bunch of people in there twerking.
Well, this is what I wanted to say on that though. Like to that point, like, you know what I'm saying? To that point, like when we were sitting there, you know, going through everything that was being said, right? And it was saying how in the thought process of the statement that was being stated was one where it was saying how like the question was like what he said to them, like how he said his wording to them, I think is also maybe a reflection of the fact that dude, I was told, had spoke to them a couple times before. So I think when we heard that you can get the F out, it was more, that was kind of more directed to them because this is my second and third time talking to you about this. So at this point, I don't even care about y'all money. I don't care. I'm talking about y'all with what I want to talk to y'all about, and I asked y'all something a couple times now. Yet it's falling on deaf ears. So like with me, I feel like, you know what I'm saying. The issue is with that is like, okay, that part of it, like you said, even if you did speak to them 2-3 times, you don't got to cuss them out. And that's a hard thing for some people to understand. And I'm just being transparent. Like I can understand that because it's like I done said something to you 2-3 times now. So you know what I mean? At that point, you kind of get, especially as a man, I think you kind of just feel like, okay, my patience can only get tried so many times before I feel like, you know, now I have to assert that, listen, this isn't that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to come into my establishment and run a coup and take over everything. Like this is not how this is going to run. You know what I'm saying? This is mine. This is mine. You know what I mean? And he had to kind of bring that, what did my man say? Bring that lion out, you know what I'm saying? And let them know, like, you know, no, this isn't gonna be that. But to your point, I think it's very much fair to say, sir, you in here got the DJ playing record music, you know what I'm saying, for dancing. Mm-hmm. So I understand that, you know, you might want your which, because I'm not gonna say that because you play hip hop and trap music, it means that I'm allowed to dance in your car, in your establishment. Right. That doesn't grant me that right. It doesn't grant me that right. So I don't think he's wrong for, like we were saying, what he was asking them, because I want to have this atmosphere where you can come in here and have that good music, and you can come in here and enjoy yourself like you was with your friends, and have your brunch and have your good time and enjoy yourself with music that you can relate to, because you can't maybe go to some other people's establishment and expect them to play the type of music that you play unless they involved and understand that culture like that. So I can understand him for wanting to bring that environment and even playing that type of music. You know what I'm saying? And even maybe wanting to keep it still on that grounds, because it's like I've heard people be like, "Well, you shouldn't be playing trap music." No, I'll play whatever I want to play, but you still gonna act how you need to act in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I think that's the whole thing that went on with the whole video, or excuse me, for where I feel like that was the thing, because honestly, like at that point, that's where I feel like the word choice, you know what I'm saying, came in maybe after like it was alleged that he spoke to them a couple times, but. Another thing that I was informed of with this was how like some people was like, oh, his business is going to suffer from it, and others are like, no, he's been taking off, stuff been booming since then. You know what I'm saying? Like people coming in, I guess, supporting the vision, supporting the, you know what I'm saying, the mindset of what the man is trying to establish for himself. And I can understand that. I was told, he's he's another one of our peers as far as an attorney as well. You know what I'm saying? So we all know how that is when you working and you trying to get yourself a little something on the side that maybe can, you know what I'm saying, maybe take you from the work world if you want to, or just to have another source of income, you know what I mean, to give yourself that. So, if his vision is his vision for his thing, I don't think it's wrong for anybody to just like say, well, no, you bogus, but at the same time, I think, you know what I'm saying, like you said, it's you can still address things a certain way, even if you wanted to tell them they got to leave. You know what I'm saying, because you are fed up. It is a way that you can maybe handle that a little bit better. You know what I'm saying, and that's the one thing that I want to say on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking I agree with what you're saying as far as how he handled it, and maybe like if he asked the person several times before, what have you. I think that speaks to his professionalism too, and maybe he hadn't had the proper training as well as how to handle it, because the tone is that nobody's really upset that he said something. It's just how he said it. So I think that as business owners, it's important to also get some etiquette training in like how to talk to your customers and how to handle and troubleshoot situations. Because if you handle them poorly, then people will get on their phone and get on social media, and then it'll be a whole topic where you could have handled it better. And I think that's something that I'm seeing as the theme of these two different people. Like they don't know how to conduct problem solving, and they don't know how to conduct customers that have an issue.
Right.
Excellent.
Right.
Excellent. Yeah. That's a great insight.
Yeah, I have something I want to say.
Let me just say this real quick. The very first clip that we showed was a text message, and pretty much it was a customer being exceedingly demanding, unreasonably demanding. But the way that the business owner handled it, she handled it with grace by pretty much saying thank you anyway. You know what I mean? And I think that people need to have more of a Chick-fil-A type of customer service attitude and less of a McDonald's customer service attitude, because you get cussed out at McDonald's. Meanwhile, at Chick-fil-A, they'll just say my pleasure and keep pushing through the door.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to you real quick, Sam, about the business culture. I'm not sure if he established a business culture like this, but even if he did, I don't think that gives the customers the right to be dancing. From the looks of the video I watched, they're dancing on furniture and on the glass. That's a liability issue waiting to happen. That's not a precedent you want to set if that's what they're doing. So I understand his sentiments of being angry and upset, and it looked like things were just out of control completely in that video. So that's probably another reason why. And he didn't want to hire security and throwing black people out of his business. That's not a good look from a PR perspective. I don't think so. He just wanted to have that serious conversation with his customers to let them know, hey, this is not what I'm going to be allowing in here. This is not what I expect. This is not the precedent I want to set. So I think by doing that, having that conversation with his customer base, primarily women, he was letting them know, hey, this is not what we're going to do here. And I think that's the culture he was trying to set out and make it clear. Although I do agree with people, he is playing the music. It is kind of like a dancing club atmosphere type of vibe. However, it is a restaurant at the end of the day, and I'm not sure if it has like a dance floor. If it doesn't have a dance floor, or if it doesn't say dancing or anything like that, I don't know how they're marketing themselves. But if he's not advertising dancing, then people shouldn't be just getting up dancing on furniture and on the glass and stuff. It's clearly not a strip club. It's clearly not a club, so they shouldn't be doing that. So I could see why he was angry, because like if something bad would happen, he'd been real pissed off. So that's
Right. Like I don't disagree with you, Malik. That's just I just gotta push back a little bit, because it's like when you're thinking about both sides of the coin, you see what I'm saying? Like you create an atmosphere, you have to be clear about what your expectations of that atmosphere really are. You know what I'm saying? And him speaking up, there's nothing wrong with the fact that he spoke up, but A, it's his language, and B, there's got to be a way to have some sort of meeting of the minds. Like, look, I understand that this is culture. You don't try to downgrade what people do, but you can tell them that that's not going to be acceptable at your establishment. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what I mean. Like, you know, anytime I go, if I want to go to brunch and I literally just want to sit down and eat and listen to music, I want to be able to do that. I don't want to have to be able to, I don't want to have to be in a space where sometimes there's 5 girls next to me, loud, dancing and carrying on. I don't want to always have that experience. But then what if I do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I do, then I know that this is not the place to go. But it has to be, I believe that it should be, you know, fairly clear, just like you said, if it's advertised that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, people got to understand that when you go in here, this is what you're going to do. Just like your mama used to tell you before you go in the grocery store, don't look at nothing, don't touch nothing, don't touch nothing, sit your butt down, don't ask for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that that's what you're going into, as opposed to you're not really sure. And also too, those girls, if I'm not mistaken, they have been drinking. So that's all the more reason why they're likely not listening, right? So he there was probably a more productive way he could have handled it, but it doesn't necessarily he was wrong. I just think that, you know, there's more to it than meets the eye. You know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And
I agree.
like, yeah, no, I think as we about to, I don't know if anybody else had anything that they wanted to say on this topic. Anyone?
I'm good.
Okay, yeah. So, with all of that being said, I feel like I just wanted to like kind of leave with some closing thoughts real fast. And one of the things that I think that we also are saying in this regards is like some of the things that I think like as professionals and you know what I'm saying, as individuals who are working, you know what I'm saying, in the public, I feel like, you know, one, we need to be very mindful on how, you know, we interact with each other on both sides. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a little more of the onus is on the business owner, just because again, you know, this is someone that's coming to support your business, and you know, most likely, you're not the only person that offers whatever it is that you offer. Most of the time, you know what I'm saying. That person could go shop somewhere else and receive another meal, or that person can go to another electrician. All of those things are services that can be provided by other individuals. So for me, I think, you know, we need to be very mindful on how we speak with each other. We need to be very mindful on the way in which we react and the services in which we provide, and taking pride for those things. And and sometimes some of this stuff I feel like, you know, we all said this, but like it was taught to us. And I think, Toya, you can kind of speak to that as well, because I know, you know, within your field, you kind of deal with a lot of people, and you can see how certain individuals are maybe taught in their homes, and versus, you know what I'm saying, things where others individuals, like what me and you, I know you personally, so you know what me and you know, and what we were taught by our parents, you know what I'm saying, coming up and things of that nature, because I think that plays a role in it as well, right? Like, if you're not taught how to speak to people, if you're not taught how to take pride in the things that you do, if you're not taught to take pride in yourself, if you're not taught to have, you know what I'm saying, self-respect, then you're not gonna think to do anything with, you know what I'm saying, with a level of pride. So yeah, Toya, I don't know if you wanted to speak on that or anything.
I was just saying you have to be taught how to have tact in class. That's the thing. And people be so prideful, they think they can do everything, but that is definitely a key.
Absolutely. So as we wrap this thing up real quick, we definitely want to thank everybody for, you know what I'm saying. I want to thank all of the co-hosts and special guests. You know, Toya, everybody want to shout their socials out. My name is Everett at that guy 2104 on Instagram, Snap. Soon I'll be on Twitter and all this other stuff. Facebook, Everett Stevenson. You know, check us out. YouTube page coming very, very soon. Yeah. Anybody else want to go ahead?
Yeah, all my social media is Malik M. Foster, so just search that up, you'll find me.
Samantha Renee, ESQ77. I think that's it. Just me. But thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. And we hope to see you again soon.
Toya, you gonna shoot your salsa?
This is Latoya. I just want to say thank you for having me. I hope to be back soon. Yeah, my Instagram private.
All right, what you out there doing? Who you hiding from? You know what I'm saying?
Let's ignore him. You're more than welcome to join us again. It was a pleasure having you.
Definitely so appreciate it. Yeah. So, all right, till next time. Peace. Hey.
Oh, where did he go? Like the recording's still going. Where did he go?
Still recording.
Yeah, how is it still recording? Am I the host now?
No, Deuces, I don't know what happened. Technical issues.
Oh, yeah, we gotta edit these.
Yeah, hang up, Louis.
Yeah, all right.